When it comes to co-op first-person shooters, there have been a number of success stories over the years. But of all the games of the last decade, Left 4 Dead has to be at the top of the list for a load of gamers. It was released all the way back in 2008, and now just around the corner we have the spiritual successor looking to fill the shoes, and give gamers a new take on the formula.
Hello there.
Oh damn. We're the Bullet Sponges, and we're back with another pre-release first look, where we jump in and give you our thoughts on whether we think a game's good to go or needs a bit more time in development. And if you enjoy the content, please feel free to give a thumbs up below. It really does help the algorithm, and it lets us know if you want to see more kinds of these videos. If you hadn't already guessed, today you're going to be joining us in covering the beta for Back 4 Blood, the upcoming FPS game from Turtle Rock Studios, widely considered to be the spiritual successor to Left 4 Dead, and being developed by the creators of that original game after splitting from Valve. Players who have enjoyed slaying hordes of zombies in Left 4 Dead will be familiar with the layout and the style of Back 4 Blood, and you can tell here that the apple didn't fall too far from the tree, although there are some interesting changes and added features which Nex will take you through in a moment. As a player, you're thrown into a zombie-infested world and play through different acts in an overarching story. From beginning to end, you make your way from safe house to safe house, and in some cases you'll even need to clear zombies in order to make an area safe so that you can rest. You'll also be completing objectives, all while protecting your delicious brain from hungry, shambling zombies. There's also a 4v4 PvP mode called Swarm for those of you who want to try your hand at taking down other players. The game is due for release on October 12th, 2021, so let's find out if it's ready for release.
So word on the street is there's a new Left 4 Dead in town, except it's not Left 4 Dead 3, it's something more of a spiritual successor, but made by the original company that developed Left 4 Dead. We managed to play the closed beta thanks to receiving keys from Warner Bros, as well as some of the open beta, and let's just say, we were pleasantly surprised. The game is understandably themed with a gloomy ambience for its gory survival horror, often for some reason leaving us overwhelmingly covered in blood. However, there were elements of colour and character that frequently shone throughout the gameplay with witty character quips and dialogue. You'll find yourself hopping around a sort of hub when looking for a game or setting up your party. And whilst this is going on, you can set up a loadout using the deck building system, where you get to select cards from your deck that you unlock through the progression system at the end of each round. And you can visit the firing range to test what I assume is every weapon and accessory you might find in game. If you've tried Left 4 Dead before, you'll be extremely familiar with a mostly unchanged gameplay loop, but with a number of generally welcomed modern day advancements, like pinging items or locations, and lots of new aim down sight options. Your starting point will have you pick one of the predefined characters, selecting the deck you'll use and then choosing from a random selection of weaponry located at your spawn. From here you play through a series of objectives and hordes of zombies in order to make it to the next save point. The immediate thing we noticed was just how fast you can move. It's almost unnaturally fast, which for us really characterised it with this retro arcade-like feel, particularly when coupled with the floaty jump and more than satisfying juicy exploding headshots. And to this effect we had a great time with what the gunplay had to offer. Weapons and attachments could be found in your ever more common tiered rarities, which meant you could genuinely be looking to upgrade and customise your gear as you progress through the missions. Throughout our journey to the next safe room, there are a number of interesting objectives that require your squad to actually work as a team, particularly on harder difficulties, like planting C4 on this ship, boarding up windows, and loading the cannon with artillery rounds, all while staving off countless waves of zombies, both the ordinary and special stronger types. For the PvP incline, there's a versus mode that pits two teams in a humans versus zombie survival time trial. The team that survives the longest against the other team's zombie invasion wins the round, and it's played as a best of 3. As a fan of the original, which had you playing through the co-op game, with the other team trying to stop you completing it, this is a change of direction into a more arena feel that I'll reserve judgment for on release. It was fun to play, but the maps we tried were so confined, you had no choice but to face each other directly in combat, rather than tactically trying to catch lone players out in Left 4 Dead. Despite having an experience that left us excited to do a full review and clear the game on the hardest mode when it releases, there are a number of things we came across that we hope might be addressed by release. Firstly, the AI could do with a few improvements. The amount of friendly fire we endured from them almost made us try and make 2 more friends to fill these spots. In one mission we got to the next safe house only to find one of our bot buddies still sitting on the minigun from where we started. There was also a bit of name confusion, displaying our names sometimes with, sometimes without the number we got allocated to our username. And at the end of the missions, Bias's name was showing up on my character and mine on his. And when you're searching for players, it doesn't say how many players have currently been found, or have any indication of how long you might be waiting for. I'm interested to know what the hardcore vets of Left 4 Dead 2 feel about this game, because in my opinion, although it feels like a modern day improvement in every way, I think it might have lost some of the charm unique to its spiritual predecessor, in the form of some of the strategies you had to use to survive realism mode, the characters themselves, and the overall eerie atmosphere.
So what's the bottom line? As far as we can tell, Back 4 Blood is shaping up to be a great co-op shooter, taking the winning formula from Left 4 Dead and adding a little complexity to give you a few more things to think about. Where Left 4 Dead had its standard selection of weapons, Back 4 Blood adds attachments and modifications, which apply buffs to things like reload speed, damage, sound suppression, among other things that really help you focus in on your gameplay and the style of gun you like to use. The gunplay itself feels great, the guns feel impactful, and as far as we can tell, the satisfaction of taking down zombies doesn't fade over time. The other addition of cards also adds a layer of depth that some players will love, and other hardcore lovers of Left 4 Dead might not like so much. Personally, I really like it, and it gives the game a slight roguelike feel as you become fractionally more competent as you play through each level. The level design itself is much the same as Left 4 Dead, which we think is a pretty good thing, where you'll battle your way from safe house to safe house, and while safe you'll gear up and get ready to enter the next fight. However, there has been a slight tweak to safe houses, and now you have money in a shop so that you can buy equipment, attachments and ammo to help you in your next fight. Looking at performance, the game runs amazingly. We had no frame rate drops, we had no performance hitches, and we had no crashes. The only thing we did have a bit of trouble with was joining each other's session, which seemed a little bit temperamental. However, for a beta, the game seems to be in great shape and on track for a great release. Let us know in the comments what you think of the game, or whether or not you agree with our review. We're the Bullet Sponges, and we'll see you in the next one.